Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 980th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Tuesday, June 27th of 2023. It is good to have you in today. As always, we are multi-streaming, rather megacasting. We are all over the internet. We are streaming live to Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, MGTOW.tv, and of course in crystal clear high-resolution 4K to SharpeStream, which is absolutely free on the mobile app as well as sharpestream.com. So however you are watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. We've got 95 of you in here watching. I would appreciate it if you guys could get me as close to 50% engagement as possible. So if we could get to 50 likes, that would be much appreciated. That would be much appreciated. On the Rumble side, let's see. What do we got going on the Rumble side here? Well, I just had the Rumble side up. Hang on. I'm the guy that has like a million windows open. I'm notoriously bad for that. Okay, there we are. We're live on Rumble. We've got 34 watching. Let's try to get me to 17 likes over on Rumble. I would greatly appreciate that. Today I'm going to talk about, break down, react to a Reddit post. And a lot of people in this community say, hey, look, the best ways to get red pill as far as a profession is be an Uber driver, be a Lyft driver, taxi driver, be a work as a line cook. That'll red pill you. I'm sure that there are a couple of other professions, being in the service industry, the hotels, et cetera, et cetera. I would argue that Reddit posts should be a part of that. They should be a part of that. Now, the interesting thing is that people don't normally, people take Reddit posts seriously to an extent, but because it's on the internet, people don't necessarily, they don't give as much credence to it as one might think, right? And the reason why that's confusing is because we live, like this generation, for example, this generation gives more credence to what they see online than what they see with their own eyes. With their own eyes, right? So if somebody like for example, if you're riding around Miami in a Lambo, right? Girls will automatically assume, a lot of them, that the Lambo is rented. But if they see you with a Lambo on Instagram, they think, oh, well, he must own that Lambo. He must be rich. Surprisingly, an exception is Reddit. And the reason why I think that Reddit posts are a good source of red pill content is because people tend to tell the truth. They are incredibly truthful. And the main reason for that is the same reason why trolls come in here and bother us. They do it under the shroud of anonymity. So they're telling us how they really feel. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But people on Reddit have no reason to lie. They're looking for real advice for real world problems. So there's no reason for them to lie because they're looking for honest advice. Number one, and number two, their screen names don't give away who they are. Their screen names do not give away who they are. And so one might think, okay, all right, well then there may be some credence to this. And we will talk about one such case in just a moment. However, let me start the music here. I think I want to do this. Pardon me. Give me 2 seconds here, guys. I'll tell you what. I appreciate you guys getting me to 56 likes. Let me shout out. Let me shout out the. Pardon me. Let me shout out the people in the chat. Shout out to Ice Dragon Kid, who's number 1. Dre Raven, a very salty number 2. Don't sweat it. Just understand that second place is the first loser, right? That's generally how that goes. Arturo, third to break the tape. Appreciate you being here. The Level Up Man says, this is savage. Ha ha ha. You guys have no idea. Dude, reading some of these Reddit posts it's incredibly painful to watch. They are incredibly painful to read because it's one of these deals where it's almost like it's the truth, but kind of not. You know what I mean? And like I said, we'll get into that. We'll get into this here very, very shortly. There it is, Into the Abyss. There we are. There we go. Turn that up just a little bit. Perfect. Okay, that's shot number 6. Shout out to my guys on the Rumble side. I appreciate you being in here as well. Let's see. I should have had all of this done, but, you know, we do it live. We do it live. There we go. There we are. Excellent. Oh, whoa, hey, ho, ho, hey, ho, 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 ho. There we are. Okay, we're good to go. We're good to go. Dr. B84 is in the house. Good to see you in here, my friend. Good to see you in here. All right, very nice. Like I said, this Reddit post, guys, it is going to absolutely, and you'll start to see it. You'll see it in my opening monologue. You'll see it in my opening monologue. But I'm telling you, man, this is really, 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 really bad. This is really, really bad. Okay, enough of long stroking you, TLA style. We're gonna get into the opening monologue here. Now, like I said, we are going to get to the Reddit post. But before I get into that, guys, I'd like to address, to a degree, at least, you know, all of the rumors swirling around about me, my personal life, you know, things that I've done, things that I've said, you know, things that I haven't, and, you know, really will. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to more or less try to pull back the curtain on the motivations of certain individuals, and I will start with an analogy. Imagine, if you will, that someone you deeply care about, someone you deeply love, your best friend, your son, your daughter, mom, dad, cousin, someone in your life that you love and care for deeply, let's just say that they need a transplant ASAP. As in, they need a liver or a heart, a kidney, some sort of vital organ transplant stat. As in, they can't wait any longer or they'll pass away. Now, before I continue, you armchair doctors looking for any reason to disagree with or disingenuously point out what you think is a medical inconsistency, you guys can blow me. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just using an example to make a point. That doesn't mean I have to be 254% factually accurate. You guys know what I'm getting at here. It is an urgent medical situation that could result in death if not addressed immediately. Now, maybe transplants are in that category, maybe not, but let's not pretend that this example isn't apropos to my overall point. Now that that's out of the way, transplants, gentlemen, are extremely complicated, extremely invasive procedures that only the best of the best surgeons can perform. So let's just say that there are only 2 surgeons in your region that are qualified to perform this particular transplant. Let's also say that one surgeon has a decent record of successful transplants and the other has a sterling reputation. As in, better than 98% of his transplant surgeries are successful, and the patients go on to live long, healthy lives, barring any unforeseen circumstances. You know, getting hit by a bus, you know, catching COVID for the 14th time. I may or may not be talking about myself. Now, any reasonable person, any reasonable, fair-minded individual would pick the surgeon with the better reviews, the better reputation, and the better success record, right? I think we can all agree on that. But let's just say that the day of the transplant, you happen to come across a YouTube video about the superior surgeon's personal life. Let's say that the video shows that he was arrested for domestic battery a few times, along with pictures of his battered wife's bruises. Let's just say that in the police report, he was arrested for beating his wife, and the pictures corroborate that accusation. Let's just say also that the video shows proof that he cheats on his wife with escorts, is known around town as a terrible tipper, that he treats people in the service industry like garbage. Let's also say that he hates kittens and puppies and has an overdue library book from like back in 1997 that he hasn't returned yet, with late fees reaching into the tens of dollars. I mean, just an overall reprehensible human being, just a bad guy. Now, on the other side, let's also say that the less qualified surgeon was the picture of morality and a pillar in the community. He volunteers at the soup kitchen. He holds charity events. He donates to good causes. He's got a beautiful wife at home, beautiful family whom he loves and adores, treats his wife like absolute gold, doesn't disrespect her, treats his children even better, right? Let's just say that he's also a great tipper. Let's just say that he treats people in the service industry with the utmost respect. Let's also say that he absolutely adores kittens and puppies and regularly donates to animal shelters and, for good measure, hasn't had an overdue library book since he was a 5th grader. Shout out to Mrs. Appleby. Let's just say that, so in other words, let's just say that surgeon number 1, the better surgeon, is an asshole, and surgeon number 2, a good but not great surgeon, is a law-abiding, upstanding citizen who is universally loved by all. Anyone who says, well, I picked the surgeon who has the better character, is being intellectually dishonest at best, and dangerous to their loved ones at worst. You know good and goddamned well that you would take the superior surgeon 11 times out of 10, and anyone who says otherwise is a fucking liar. The point is, gentlemen, is that we are all morally flexible if the situation calls for it. This doesn't mean we ignore the difference between right and wrong. Actions have consequences, as we all well and know. But to pretend that you make critical decisions based on the moral dilemma of any given situation is exactly what losers do. I remember, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember when Tiger Woods got into all that hot water, that scandal, when it was made public that he was smashing escorts and call girls. If I'm not mistaken, I think this all happened around Thanksgiving of 2009. As a matter of fact, you know what? I remember this distinctly because this was the fall and winter that I was living in this quasi-crack house with a couple on felony probation for possession with intent to distribute, while also trying to salvage my joke of a relationship with Amy. Right? Everyone came out of the woodworks to crucify Tiger Woods. I can't believe he did this to his wife. How could he? He's a reprehensible human being, and on and on and on. But the reason everyone came after him is because he was the greatest golfer the world had seen since the great Jack Nicklaus. At this point, at the time of the scandal, Tiger had won 14 majors, just 4 back of the record held by Jack Nicklaus. And at 34 years old, gentlemen, he was poised not only to break, but to shatter the record, because at this point, he had at least 64 more tries. This is 4 majors a year for the next 16 years. He's 34, joins the senior tour at 50, give or take. Now, had this been Mike Woods or John Woods, we wouldn't have cared. But because he was Tiger Woods, the world clutched its pearls in complete shock at the audacity of a 34-year-old multimillionaire who was, at the time, the world's most famous athlete. How dare he step out on his wife? How dare he, we said. We all acted like Tiger Woods was the world's worst human for doing what he did. But here's an interesting thing that I kind of figured out. You want to know who didn't criticize him? Other pro golfers. Professional athletes, celebrities, recording artists, and so forth. You see, gentlemen, it is very easy to stare down your nose at someone who has done wrong and use that as a referendum on his overall character when you yourself have never been in that situation before and likely never will be. But I am willing to bet an amount of money that matters to me that if you were 34 years old with a net worth of $750 million with a B dollars, were the face of professional golf, who had women throwing themselves at you everywhere you went, and had to deal with the pressure of being the world's #1 golfer for over a decade, that the minute beautiful Rachel Yucatel approached you at the Australian Open, you would not have said, Rachel, look, I'm happily married to a beautiful woman, so let's just be friends, okay? One pattern I've noticed with people I've noticed throughout my life is that successful people are very, very rarely critical of other successful people. And here's what I mean by that. Pay attention. When one successful person goes after another successful person, it is usually for the benefit of both people. So, for example, in the fight game, like boxing or MMA, right? You've got two undefeated champions talking trash to one another, right? Your mama's a whore, you know, I smashed your girlfriend, you can't fight, you suck, and so on and so forth. Right? Like we hear, like we see that all the time. They do this to, you know, drum up more buzz, drum up more drama for the fight. You see it all the time at weigh-ins and press conferences. Right? The guys they get in each other's faces, their nose to nose, they insult each other, they push each other, all the rest of that. But after the fight, the vast majority, like 99.9% of fighters, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor notwithstanding, the majority of these fighters embrace each other because of the mutual respect they have for one another. Right? And as a side note, while I'm thinking about it, shout out to Red Pill Kings. What's going on, brother? For those of you who have never been in a fight with another man, nothing bonds men the quickest than a physical confrontation. A lot of guys I've thrown hands with, we either became good, semi-good friends, or at the very least, civil acquaintances. Anyway, successful people are rarely critical of each other if there isn't a mutual benefit. Yes, some successful people attack other successful people out of nowhere, but those instances are few and far between. But by and large, successful people don't attack other successful people unprovoked. On the other side of that coin, unsuccessful people who are critical of successful people are clueless. These are the kinds of people who have never had the opportunity to make any real money. Right? These are people who have never really stepped out there and tried to hang their own shingle or start their own business. These are the people who simply lack the courage or the skill to do what's necessary to live an exceptional life. Now, believe it or not, I think this is a good thing. The world needs ditch diggers, gentlemen. The world needs burger flippers. Let's just keep it real. The world needs people to do the grunt work that doesn't require much qualification to perform. Because if everybody is successful, then nobody is. Success is not meant for everybody, gentlemen, no matter what the internet tells you. Yes, I tell you guys all the time that anybody could do what I'm doing because you're a man. But just because anyone could doesn't mean anyone would. And these are your average Joes of the world, which again, the world absolutely needs. But when average Joes start pretending to care about any given influencer's moral character, that's where the envy and the jealousy and the hate comes into play. These guys actually think it is easy to be a successful content creator. One guy actually called my show, or one guy actually said in my comments, he said, getting 1 million subs is easy. What? That idiot has no idea what he's talking about. He is also the guy who likes to pretend that because I've been arrested almost 3 dozen times and that I'm a 4-time convicted felon that I don't know what I'm talking about, or that I'm a scammer or a grifter or whatever insult du jour comes to mind. Yes, gentlemen, I have done some pretty reprehensible things in my life, and yes, I've paid my debt to society many times over. Now, while I'm not proud of the things I've done, I'm certainly not ashamed of them either. I made mistakes that will follow me for the rest of my life, and I've got to deal with them legally and mentally. There's nothing I can do about it now. You got to deal with the consequences, like I said. But what my detractors seem intent on disqualifying me what they seem intent on disqualifying me for are things that, number one, aren't against the law. Number two, things that I haven't been arrested for, nor is there a warrant out for my arrest. And number three is not actually a bad thing if it were true. Back in 01, I was arrested for identity theft. I've told this story before, way back in the episode 200. A former roommate of mine by the name of Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. He's a white kid with blonde hair. lied to the Cary Police Department and said that I stole his identity to get cable turned on in his name, unbeknownst to him. He told the cops that we were never roommates and that I somehow obtained his social security number. The cops took him at his word, didn't do any investigation, and issued a warrant for my arrest in Wake County, North Carolina. You guys can look all this up. It's all public record. But here's what actually happened. Myself, our friend Jeff, and Aaron were roommates. We all worked for the same company and decided to live together to save money. All three of our names were on that lease. But Jeff got transferred and Aaron had stopped paying rent. So I went to the complex and I told him, look, our buddy Jeff got transferred to another store. He lives in Charlotte now. My other roommate is, he tells me he's broke all the time, but he's got a new pair of Jordans every other week. Like, can you hook me up? So thankfully, they did your boy a solid. They allowed me to rent a one-bedroom on my own. Well, years later, Aaron tried to finance a jet ski in Charlotte, and they didn't approve him. Why? Because his credit report showed him defaulting on a Time Warner cable bill way back in 2001. So instead of paying his share of the bill, which was $250, he decided to lie and say that he knew nothing about it. He decided to lie and say, this man, who I don't know, I was never roommates with, stole my identity. He lied. Right? All my court-appointed attorney had to do was contact Hidden Oaks, which was the apartment complex we all lived in. All he had to do was call them, get a copy of the lease that showed all three of our signatures on the lease, and the case was dismissed on the spot, on the contingency that I pay my share of the defaulted cable bill, which is $250. I then tried to file a police report for a false accusation, and despite all of the evidence that Aaron Jones blatantly lied to the cops, Detective Brick, as in B-R-I-C-K, of the Cary, North Carolina Police Department said that he would not be pursuing charges against one Aaron Jones for lying to the cops. And again, you guys can look this up. It's all public record. Do you want to know what else is public record or isn't public record? This nonsense about me stealing my dad's identity. Number one, I didn't do it. Number two, there never was, is, or ever will be a warrant issued for my arrest because it didn't happen. We got people out here talking shit about things they know absolutely nothing about. They know nothing about that situation. This community is supposed to be all about men getting screwed in the court system and the fact that men are essentially guilty till proven innocent in a court of law, but the minute somebody makes up some bullshit story about an identity theft that I was never convicted of, charged for, arrested for, or even a warrant issued, now all of a sudden I'm guilty? Don't you think that if things really happened the way you believe them to have happened, wouldn't I have been arrested for this by now? I mean, given my criminal history and the fact that I was no stranger to the handcuffs and local law enforcement being fully aware of this, they never came knocking on my door with a warrant? Then with this whole adoption thing. Ay. First it's the niece. Now it's the daughter based on paperwork somebody created. Now guys, we all know that there are more than enough people and software and resources out there that any document can be created and made to look authentic. Paperwork, gentlemen, can be made to say or show anything anybody wants. Have we forgotten that Photoshop exists? Have we forgotten that deep fakes exist? Have we forgotten that we have software that takes people's voices and makes them sound like they actually said things they didn't say? Namely Andrew Tate. We've got deep fakes of people putting the faces of celebrities and voices on celebrities, making them look like they're saying things they're not saying in places they're not really at. And we want to give credence to this paperwork, who by the way was submitted by Devin's ex. Oh yes, we're going to get into that. Brian, I hope you're watching. I hope you and your little girlfriend are watching. fam. Hope you and your girlfriend are watching. By the way, Brian and his now girlfriend watch the show and scour my social media so that Brian can collect evidence of me being a terrible person. Brian is a fucking wizard at Photoshop, gentlemen. This dude has better than 20 years of experience in graphic design. I may not like that son of a bitch, but I respect that dude's talent. I respect that dude's talent. Even though he drinks the day away every day. Gentlemen, Devin's ex, Brian, has fabricated countless documents, pictures, receipts, and everything in between in a feeble attempt at keeping the connective tissue between he and Devin. Devin divorced her ex, Brian, because Brian, gentlemen, is an alcoholic who drank his way out of his marriage, his job, and ultimately his apartment. That's why he moved to Delaware with his degenerate mother, who, by the way, you cannot make this stuff up. His mother, who, by the way, married his best friend when he was 18. Yes, you heard that correctly. Brian's biological mother, Beverly, married his best friend, Wes, when they were 18. So Brian's stepdad is the same age as he is and used to be his best friend. Think about that for a second. Just think about that for a second. Imagine being 18 years old and your best friend, who is your age, marries your mother? Now, I'd like to think that I'm as mentally strong as the next guy. But if I'm being honest, I'd have crawled in a bottle too. Dude, my mom shagging my best friend? What? That would have thrown me for a loop too. Now, the other reasons Brian continues to harass us is because he knows his ex-wife is now living a better life. She's in the best shape of her life. She looks magnificent. She's gotten to travel. She's gotten to experience the finer things in life. She never has to want for nothing. And if she wants something, all she's got to do is ask. Now, all of these years since Devin and I got together, since 2016, Brian and his people have literally been stalking me on social media. He sees the progress Devin's made. He sees that her ass looks awesome. He sees that boob job. Oh, yes, he does. He sees the life she lives. He sees the cars. He's seen the gym. He's seen the lifestyle. He's seen the trips. And this is why he's mad. He's mad that a better man is with his woman and made her a better woman. And this man will say and do anything, whatever he has to, in order to try to sabotage our business. This drove him to the ultimate in desperation by reaching out to one Anthony Johnson. Now, Anthony Johnson comes after me. It's really quite simple. Anthony tells everyone he came after me because he wants to eradicate the manosphere of frauds. He accused me of poaching his speakers. And look, go to my YouTube timeline. The bullshit document from his bullshit ass lawyer, Dana Anderson, fake lawyer, DDJ, Dana Anderson, fake lawyer. Now, Anthony Johnson comes after me because the CME is in direct competition with the 21 convention. He's in direct competition. It's in direct competition with the 21 convention. He won't say that out loud, but everybody knows it. The 21 convention, by the way, won't be around much longer, but in Tony's mind, he thinks he's going to take me down with him. So imagine his delight when Devin's ex reached out to him. I'm their common enemy, guys. I'm their common enemy. For good reasons. For good reasons. So, is it that far-fetched to think that maybe, just maybe, that a man with over 20 years of graphic design, with an axe to grind with me, would use Photoshop or whatever software he had to try to attack my character with lies and propaganda, along with Tony Johnson. Think about the motive, guys. Think about the motives. Brian hates me because he wants his ex-wife back more than ever, and Anthony hates me because I've made the 21 convention a joke. But my haters will all pretend that it's all true to justify their disdain of me. In the end, guys, in the end, you don't have to like me. You don't have to like my frailties. You don't even have to like my personality. Yes, I've made mistakes in life. And like I said before, I have paid my debt to society. People can accuse me of whatever they want. None of that matters because I know what I'm talking about and I've got the receipts to prove it. My woman is fit, feminine, friendly, and I assume faithful. I have countless text conversations from the past that verifies my experience, and my books and courses have changed the lives of men the world over. I'm not telling you, here's another thing. I'm not telling you guys you should follow me. If what I've done bothers you, no problem. But that doesn't make me any less great at what I do. And there's nothing that any of you guys can think about it. Here's the facts. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. You don't care that your iPhone is made by Chinese children. You don't. You're still swiping for box on Tinder and writing soliloquies about why you think I'm a scam artist. And by the way, any hater who has the time to write a wall of text is a fucking loser. Period. Full stop. I don't care. If you really had something going on in your life, you would not have the time to sit down and write a 3,000-word dissertation on the economic reasons as to why you hate me, and that's a fact. Guys, get a life. Here's another example. People don't care about Jordan Belfort's criminal record. This dude was charged and convicted of securities fraud, and money laundering, and spent nearly 2 years in a federal prison. And this man still fills up auditoriums with people willing to pay upwards of $10,000 just to be in the same room with him. Do you think these people are thinking, well, he did go to prison, so maybe I shouldn't trust him? No. They know that he knows what he's talking about. And despite the fact that he went to prison for something that he was absolutely, positively, unequivocally guilty of, people still line up around the block and beg this man to take their money and show them the way. You couldn't care less about what your doctor's personal life is like, so long as he gets that transplant right. And you don't care about my criminal record or personal issues. You pretend to, but you don't. You want to know why I know you don't care? Because you losers exalt a blue-haired gamer who's choked out his wife multiple times, by his own admission, abandoned his kid to pursue a green card chasing slut, and endorses child pornography to be distributed to pedophiles as therapy for would-be offenders. Really? Him? I actually had a dude call into my show, Jared, and talk about what a failure I am, and actually compared me to Destiny. He said, he's got more money than you, and his wife is younger and hotter than you. This was a black man, mind you. This was a black man comparing me to a dude who routinely insults his fans and stole the girlfriend of who? One of his fans. And what you idiots haven't really figured out is that the YouTube algorithm is specifically set up to respond to moral outrage. Why do you think all the pearl clutchers and virtue signalers have the biggest channels? Abba and Preach, Destiny, they virtue signal aggressively and attack people in this community because it gets what? Clicks and views. And by the way, guys, there's nothing wrong with that. We live in a free country, man. Their freedom of speech is protected by the First Amendment. Hey, I'm good with that. If you see that something is working, don't stop on my account. If talking shit about us gets you paid, I ain't mad at you. I'm not. But you guys need to understand that people like this don't have any steadfast beliefs other than whatever the YouTube algorithm pushes and what Google AdSense pays them. These people like to say, you're lying to the public for clicks and views. Your message is poisonous and dangerous. Do you want to know the real reason why they say this about us? It's actually quite simple. You see, the more men that are on their purpose, increasing their value, starting side hustles, and giving modern women the finger, the less time men have to sit around and watch the blue-haired dork play video games while his friend dances with his wife right behind him who smashes other dudes on the side. The more men invest in themselves and strive to improve their station in life, the less time they have to sit around and watch a couple of mindless monkeys, and yes, I said fucking monkeys, because that's who the fuck you are, talk shit about the kinds of men they want to be. Guys, look, man. It is absolutely fine to tune into mindless entertainment every once in a while. I do it myself. You gotta unwind. Guys like Destiny and Ab and Preach are very important in this day and age. And I'm not being facetious. People need an escape. They need to unwind. It's why we watch sitcoms. It's why we watch stand-up comedies. But when you're in the entertainment business and try to be the moral police, that is dangerous for men. Who the fuck wants Destiny's life? Other than Jared. He's a deadbeat dad who is physically abusive to his wife. There's a video of him endorsing cheese pizza for pedos, and his wife has hairy toes, yellow teeth, shits in the forest, and has sex with other men. Yeah, he's winning. How about Ab and Preach? You want their lives? Huh? You want man tits and justify paying for box on the internet? Now, I suppose, if you wanted breasts or to get milk from your butthole, I guess I could understand the Abba envy. And does anybody really want Preach's life? The dude lied about being married to a whale. Why on earth would you do that? They insulted my wife? The joke's on you because I'm not even married to her. Nigga, you told us she was your wife. We had no reason to believe otherwise. Guys, trashing red pillars, that is the new in thing. Why do you think we have so many detractors? It's because there's money in it. The reason you jump on excuses to hate me is because your hate is rooted in envy. But you can't say that because then you just look like a hater for no reason. So you have to pretend to care that because I wrote a few bad checks, that because I put a few dudes in the hospital, or that you think I'm a stepdad, I'm somehow not qualified to do what I do. You don't give a shit about the $88 check that I wrote to Cash and Carry when I lived in Florida 20 years ago. 20 years! You don't care about the $74 check I wrote to cover the pictures of soccer pictures of the son of some 304 single mom I was trying to get with 15 years ago. You don't care that I've been arrested nearly 3 dozen times. You don't care about any of that. No, you care that despite my extensive criminal record, I live a better life than you do. Period. You guys think to yourself, how could this talentless fraud be living this life? Oh, he must be stealing from people. He must be scamming people. He must be doing the same things he did in the past. Look, if that's what you want to tell yourself to dismiss me, that's fine. But you're missing out on life-changing knowledge. High IQ people don't watch Ab and Preach, guys. They don't watch Destiny. Hell, they might not even watch me, to be honest with you. What they do watch is the kind of content that can help them improve their lives. And watching a couple of fucking monkeys flap their gums about morals when they called my own a rapist, or some blue-haired cuck who has even bigger skeletons in his closet than I do, isn't what high-level men are watching. Like I said earlier, it's fine to consume mindless entertainment. But if you're taking their advice on how to live life and relationships, then the joke's on you. The joke's on you. And those of you who were all in my comments talking shit, thanks for the engagement. At some point, your hate will start to actually pay dividends, and that is the memo. There we go. All right. Very, 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 very good. All right, let's catch up on these super chats here. Lily Zero on the Rumble side says that Tony guy went running to Slaba and Beach. Yeah, dude. Tony is doing everything he can to try to take me out, dude, and he ain't done it yet. He hasn't done it yet. You wonder why he hasn't done it yet? Because people who see value in my content, they know that doesn't matter. They know that doesn't matter. All right, let me, where all the super chats go? Ken Rose with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Mike Steele with the $5 super chat says, I would rather make $200K and be like Donovan than make $1 million and be like Destiny. Oh, shit. Real talk. Real talk, man. Technomage B5 with the $10 super chat says, you have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something sometime in your life, Winston Churchill. That's it. That's the problem with these guys. You don't really know what they believe. You really don't know. Not that that's a crime or anything, but if you really want to take your cues from those people, I can't help you. I really can't. Man, my beard is getting so long. I'm eating it more than I'm wearing it these days. It is looking good, though. The beard is looking good. The hairline is looking crispy. So I'm good with that. All right, let's get to today's topic. So, this particular Reddit post, I actually got in my email. I actually got it in my email a while back, and it was posted, I want to say maybe a week ago, and it says, "I already forgave her cheating, but now I saw the details and can't cope with the way she had sex." You guys need to buckle up. You guys need to buckle the you-know-what up. There we go. It starts, "I am really freaking out right now, and I hope you guys can help me." Okay. "My girlfriend of 2.5 years has cheated, and I already forgave her." There's problem number one. There's problem number one, guys. Never, ever, ever go back to a cheater. Never go back to a cheater. If you're a man and your woman cheats on you, it's over. It's over. The only reason why she's trying to convince you that when a woman gets caught cheating and she begs you to stay with her, she really wants you to stay. She really does want you to stay. That doesn't mean she's not going to quit smashing the dude on the side. Right? She wants you to stay and be the beta bucks to her alpha fucks that she's fucking around with. "I love you, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, she does love you, but not the way you want or need to be loved as a man. She loves you for giving her the ability to do whatever she wants and still live a secure life. That's why women cheat, gentlemen. That's why they cheat. A lot of people say, well, why not just leave if she cheats? Right? Why not just leave it? Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. If she cheats on you and you take her back, she has zero respect for you. Amy did the same thing to me. I found out she cheated on me, broke up with her for about 12 hours, took her back. Things went from bad to worse. So his first mistake is that he already forgave her. He continues, "Now I learned that the sex was much worse than I expected, and I don't know how to handle this. It happened about 2 months ago," he says. "My girlfriend was at a party at the shared apartment with some of her friends. Nothing special. I wasn't in town as I had to work in a different city." Oh boy. Houston, we have a problem. We have a serious fucking problem. What is your girlfriend doing at a party? Well, Donovan, what's wrong? You don't trust her at a party? No, I don't. But because we know that we can't control women, I tell guys, you can't control women. You're not her father. You cannot tell her what you can or cannot do. However, your boundaries and expectations, as well as your response to things, can influence her behavior. Now, it might not influence her in the way that you want it to influence her, and if that's the case, then guess what? She didn't like you that much anyway. So let's just say you go through the gambit. She keeps trying to get you to be her boyfriend. And finally she asks, and finally she says, hey, you know what? If you and I don't make this official, we're not doing this hookup thing anymore. Right? Let's say you go through the whole song and dance like I tell you guys to do in relationship foundation fundamentals. Let's say you do, hey, it's hard to be with a guy like me. Why? Do you want to know? Yeah. Okay. Unlock your phone and hand it to me right now. Let's just say that she passes that test. She says, okay, can you be my boyfriend now? And you say, well, that's a start. What do you mean that's a start? You're going to say, well, it takes a lot more to be in a relationship with me. She's going to say, like what? That's when you drop on her, look, I can't tell you, I'm not going to tell you what you can or cannot do, but I will say this. I do not commit to women who go to bars. I don't commit to women who go to clubs. I don't commit to women who go to house parties. I don't commit to women who travel alone. I mean, need I say more? I don't commit to women on social media. I don't commit to women. I don't commit to women who travel for work. All that stuff, right? If she likes you enough and thinks you're worth it, she will cease the behavior. If she doesn't, that doesn't make her a bad person. It just means that A, she's not ready for a relationship, B, she doesn't like you that much, or C, all of the above. Every girl says they're not ready for a relationship until they meet that big dick nigga who pulls her hair and puts her the fuck in her place when she gets out of pocket. This man allowed his girlfriend to go to, and I can promise you, this ain't the first party she's ever been to. This ain't the first party she's ever been to, because he said nothing special, just at an apartment with their friends. So this is a regular occurrence. The next day, he said, she called me crying and told me that she had cheated. I was shocked. When I came back the day after that, we had a long talk. She didn't tell me much details, and I didn't ask for it. She said she had a few drinks and just went with the flow and then had sex there. I actually didn't ask whom. So that's very, very interesting that she called him up the next day and actually told her boyfriend that she cheated. Now, why would she do that? Why would she do that? Well, number one, it was she was there with people that he knew as well. So she knew eventually it would get back to him, right? That's probably the main reason. If she had done this at a house party with people he didn't know or that she didn't know, that they didn't know together, I can promise you he would never have found out. She wouldn't have called him and told him. The reason she called him and told him was to get ahead of the fact that was at some point it's a house party. The shit's going to get out. The shit is going to get out. He continues. As she seemed to be really sorry, I tried to get over it. It took me some time, but I actually managed to really forgive her, and I thought our relationship was on a good track again. Her cheating wasn't a topic at all anymore. I admit I was wondering about details from time to time, but I didn't want to talk about it and thought that it doesn't matter. However, he says, I was very, very wrong. So he is about to find out. He's about to find out what we in this community have known for quite a while. He is about to find this out. Now, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. The reason he didn't want to talk about it is because he was afraid of what he might find out. He was afraid of what he might find out. He was afraid that if he found out the details, he would have to break up with her. And because he has that scarcity mindset, he doesn't want to leave his girl, so ignorance is bliss, right? But, gentlemen, we are human. He made the first mistake by forgiving her. That was his first mistake. But at some point, the details start to eat at you. Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this right now. The most painful, how can I put this? The most painful thing that a man can ever experience is finding out that his woman cheated on him. That is, guys, like, I would rather get the shit beat out of me than find that shit out. A very close second is not knowing. All the evidence is there. The late phone calls, her covering up her phone, her being out late at night. You just don't have an admission or a smoking gun. Right? So, I understand. I understand that he didn't really want the details. He didn't want to find out what the details were. Eventually, he would have to. Yesterday, he continues, I talked to a guy that was there as well, and he seemed very surprised that I had been able to forgive her. I tried to explain to him that I appreciated her honesty and that she never tried to hide it at all. I wasn't able to understand his confusion until I was finally brave enough to ask about the details. You see, he's brave enough to ask about the details. We can call him weak. We can call him whatever we want, guys. I feel this dude's pain. I feel this dude's pain. Like the shit is eating at him. But now somebody from the outside is like, damn, like you took her back? Like after what she did to you? Like you took her back? That would prompt anyone to say, well, why wouldn't I take her back? I almost blacked out when he told me. To cut a long story short, it wasn't just normal sex with one guy. She apparently slept with at least 3 of them and did things she'd never do with me. I still have no words for it. Actually, I thought he was making this up, but he had proof, and I can't get this off my mind. Now, I don't know how to ever cope with this. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Because I can only imagine that the proof that his homeboy showed him was either video or pictures. Right? He said he thought he was making this up. Why would he make this up? What, to try to get with your girl? What the fuck would he try to get the girl who got a train ran on her? Imagine saying, I don't believe you, and him showing you a picture or a video of 3 men inside of your girlfriend. The bitch got drunk, and they ran a train on them. And they ran a train on her. That's what happened. She got a train ran on her. She got drunk and had sex with at least 3 men at the same time. I'm going to tell you what, any woman who has had more than one dick in her at the same time, that is the blackest of blackest flags. That is I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if it was her fault or not. Can't commit to women like that. If she was E-Pard, still can't commit to her. Even if it was one person, still can't commit to that. Any woman who has had more than one dick in her at the same time, I can never, ever, ever really fully respect a woman who allowed that to be done by herself. He continues, I know I didn't ask for details, but it still feels like she lied to me, even though she technically maybe didn't. And this, gentlemen, is where I bring your attention to law number 40 of the 49 laws of Sharpe. You see, the reason I wrote these laws, gentlemen, is because most men are not privy to these laws. They're really not. Law number 49 of the 49 laws of Sharpe says, quote, she will never volunteer disparaging information about herself unless she is hiding something more nefarious. Let me repeat that. Law number 40 of the 49 laws of Sharpe says she will never volunteer disparaging information about herself unless she is hiding something more nefarious. If your girlfriend comes home and says, look, I wanted to admit to you that I saw my ex today. What that means is that she's been fucking her ex for 6 months. She's been fucking her ex for 6 months, and she is planning her exit strategy. And people foolishly think, guys foolishly think, oh, well, hell, she didn't have to tell me she saw her ex. I would never have known. I know I can trust her now. Nope. Women never, ever, ever volunteer disparaging information about themselves unless they are covering something up more nefarious. The bitch got a train ran on her. She knew that somebody there was going to tell him about it. So she decided to head it off at the pass and say, oh, I admit it. I got drunk. and I slept with a guy. He continues, I hate that I went through a lot of mental trouble to keep this relationship alive and now have to learn this. I am completely freaking out now. I'm completely freaking out now. HECC on the YouTube side nails it. He completely nails it. This is why red pill is so important, guys. This is why red pill is so important. I can guarantee he's been in conversations that he's been privy to. Well, if you trust her, then you'll let her go to the bar or the club. Oh, you don't want her to go to a house party with you out of town? You're insecure. Think he's going to be insecure now? You think he's going to date a girl that goes to house parties while he's out of town? Incredible. 278 people watching now. We're back after this.
The third annual Conference of Masculine Excellence has just been confirmed. And for the second consecutive year, it will be held at a world-class venue in beautiful Miami, Florida. The posh surroundings and all of the amenities you can imagine will make this event an experience of a lifetime. The CME is focused on helping men to become the best version of themselves, improve in all areas of life, as well as maintaining solid, healthy relationships with their wives and girlfriends. Anything and everything that pertains to dominating life as a man here in the 21st century will be discussed extensively. As usual, your instructors will be an all-star cast of presenters. They will cover topics like financial literacy, health and fitness, mental strength, and much, much more. Included in your ticket is live access to all speeches and presentations, a seat at the live filming of the Six, and the opportunity to converse with the speakers themselves. How awesome would it be to shake hands with some of the most influential men in this community? Breakfast on both mornings is also included, as well as a 5-course meal at the Feast of Champions. As always, the feast will be held on Saturday night and will feature some of the best cuisine in the 305. VIP tickets are also available. Those tickets include priority front row seating for all presentations, entrance to the Cigar Bar VIP meet and greet, which includes an open bar, an exclusive VIP bag, and so much more. VIP tickets are limited, so get yours before they're sold out like they have been the last 2 conferences. Got a friend who wants to come with you? Got a girlfriend or wife who wants to attend? Are you a father who wants to bring your son? Are you a son who wants to bring your father? Take advantage of the +1 discount that gives you a whopping 55% off for your +1. Not applicable for VIP tickets, and your +1 must be 21 or older. Plus, as an added bonus, attendees who purchase their tickets before March 21st will get Donovan's revolutionary signature course, Womanese. That's right, guys. Every attendee who purchases their ticket within the next 2 weeks gets all 5 complete volumes of Womanese absolutely free. This course contains over 600 female translations. In addition to all of those translations, Womanese contains countless hours of explanation to make sure this invaluable knowledge will stick. This treasure trove of information and wisdom is a $700 value, but you will get it absolutely free if you Annual Conference of Masculine Excellence is now the undisputed official live event of the Manosphere. As always, the CME will be free of the backstabbing, infighting, and toxic leadership that has plagued other events. Donovan takes this event and the safety of his instructors and attendees very seriously. He simply will not embarrass himself or his community by engaging in the kind of behaviors that have made that other convention all but irrelevant. So if you've ever been on the fence about attending a men's conference, now is the time. If you allow yourself to be in the presence of true greatness and masculinity, you will come out the other side a better man with knowledge you will carry with you for the rest of your life. You owe it to yourself to take advantage of this incredible opportunity to increase your value and change your life forever. So join us in Miami, Florida, to join a tight-knit community of like-minded men who are focused on self-improvement and having great relationships with their women. Space is limited, so go to masculineexcellence.com to get your tickets now.
Welcome back to the 980th edition of TSR Live. Thank you guys very, very much. Thank you guys very, very much for sticking with me. Yeah, Black Lemur 2009. I've actually got a special deal for you. I think you and I may have discussed it already, but in case I'm wrong, shoot me a text or an email, and I'll make sure you get sorted. I will make sure you get sorted. And this week only, I got to get my graphics guy to do. I got to get graphics done by my graphics guy. This week only until Sunday. Every ticket is buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one free. So whether you buy a VIP ticket or you buy a standard ticket, you will be awarded a +1. You'll be awarded a +1. So every ticket sold this week will be good for 2 people. So you can maybe surprise a friend with it, maybe split it with your buddy, whatever the case may be. 2 for 1 today, or 2 for 1 this week only. I'm trying to get rid of the rest of our tickets, and hopefully this special will get that out of the way. Yesterday, I told you guys that I would be reacting to The Bachelorette, but that was before I saw that The Bachelorette started at 9. Like, I was ready to make a little bit of a sacrifice and go from 8 to 10. But dude, I'm 45 going on 46 years old, man. I'm not trying to stay up until 11 o'clock on a weekday, summertime or not. Like, I got shit to do. I got weights to lift. I got spin classes to go to. So, I don't know, man. I like to do those live, but dude, 9 to 11, that's just too fucking late. That is just way too goddamn late. I'm not doing that. Corey Treverson says, any woman that will accuse you of being insecure is exactly the type of woman who will pull this BS. That's exactly right. T-Law says, how's everything, Mr. Sharpe? Hope all is well. Yep, things are going very, very well. Cigar Man says they have to do a shot on a yacht Miami Vice style. Guys, I have all sorts of yacht footage from the yacht party. I'm gonna have my guy cut it up and put it on Sharpe Stream as well as Patreon. By the way, the $5 and $8 tiers, the $5 and $8 tiers are back on Patreon. So make sure if you're missing out, you got to make sure that gets taken care of. Let's see. Let me read these comments. Some guy says they were going to church the whole time. I don't know what that means. R. Hydrus says RIP other convention. Yeah, this dude is charging $2,500 for a standard ticket. This dude is charging $500 for a virtual ticket. $500 for a virtual ticket. Unbelievable. Virtual tickets $500. Standard tickets $2,500. Super VIP was lowered from $4,000 to $3,500, or from $4,000 to $3,000. Dude, who the fuck wants to pay $3,000 to go watch guys complain? Come on, man. Come on. Tony Johnson is a glorified troll. That's it. He's a troll. That's all he is. Yes, Open Up says all aboard the 304 Express. Liberty Bell Lock says choo choo. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to be starting my Married at First Sight, or continuing rather, my Married at First Sight breakdown. This is Married at First Sight season 13. We're about a third of the way. We're about a third of the way through the season, and so far, it's been really, really good. It's been really, really good. James Wingate with the $10 super chat says, I've used the 49 laws of Sharpe to break down BS faster. Had women tell stories. I roll my eyes and make noise. She asks, do I not believe her? I say, hell no. Then take her story apart. She was mad. That's how it was. That's how it was. Some guy says, I was talking about my ex-wife cheating on her husband. She met at church with me for years. Right. Exactly. That's how they do. That's how they do it. Excellent. So if you want to, let me go ahead and get the Rumble link for you guys. Now, if you want to watch, go to the Rumble link. I'm going to put it in the chat here quickly. Or go to rumble.com/Donovan Sharpe, I think. Let's see here. How did that Rumble link go? Nope. Well, I just added up. Oh, there it is. There we go. So we got 36 on Rumble. We got 36 watching on Rumble now. There it is. Share. I'm a little new at Rumble, so bear with me, guys. Okay. There we go. Ken Rose, another $5 super chat. Okay. All right. All right, guys. All right. Very good. That is going to do it for this, the 980th edition of TSR Live. Thank you guys for your support and super chats. Come over to Rumble. The link is in the chat. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you in a bit. All right, I'm going to bid farewell. Do I have green screen on my... That's weird. I didn't know I had... Wait a minute. Oh, look at that. There we go. That was a little bit weird. All right, guys. I am now going to say goodbye to all of our audiences, with the exception of Rumble and Sharpe Stream. And I am really losing my voice here, man. Whoa. My tabs are playing games with me here, y'all. There it is. Jesus. All right.